Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever seen a lioness walk alone? She moves with silence, but with strength. She does not beg for company. She does not seek approval. And yet when she moves, the jungle watches. Now imagine a woman like that. A woman who does not fill her days with noise, who does not chase applause, who does not fear walking alone. She is not lonely, she is powerful, and that, my friends, makes her dangerous. Because a woman who spends time alone is a woman who knows herself. And when she knows herself, who can stop her? A woman alone is not weak but wise. This statement defies the misconception that solitude is a sign of loneliness or vulnerability. In a world that often measures a woman's worth by her relationships, her social circles, and her outward engagements, the idea of a woman choosing solitude is unsettling to many. But what they fail to understand is that her solitude is not a cry for help. It is a declaration of strength. When a woman chooses to spend time alone, she is not running from the world. She is seeking herself. In the quiet, she listens to her own thoughts without the noise of external opinions. She learns who she is without the influence of society telling her who she should be. While others are busy conforming, she is busy discovering. This discovery is not always easy, but it is always necessary. A woman who spends time in solitude sharpens her mind, reflects on her life, and gains an understanding of her own worth. She is wise because she has learned that happiness does not come from constant validation. She does not need someone to remind her that she is beautiful, strong, or capable. She knows it already. She does not depend on the approval of others to define her identity. Instead, she builds her confidence from within, knowing that external praise is fleeting, but self-assurance lasts forever. Society often teaches women to fear solitude, as if being alone is a punishment, but the truth is solitude is a privilege. It is a sacred space where a woman can dream without limitations, plan without interference, and grow without distraction. In her moments of solitude, she does not weaken. She strengthens. She learns the art of self-reliance, the power of resilience, and the depth of her own wisdom. When challenges come, she does not break easily because she has spent time preparing herself in the quiet. She has faced her doubts, confronted her fears, and developed a mind that is both clear and unshakable. She does not crumble under pressure because she has built herself from the inside out. While others seek comfort in crowds, she finds comfort in her own presence, knowing that she is her own greatest ally. She is not easy to deceive because she sees through the masks people wear. She is not easy to manipulate because she has trained her mind to think critically. She's not afraid of standing alone because she has done it before and found strength in the experience. The world may call her dangerous, but what they truly fear is her independence. A woman who walks alone does not do so because she is weak, but because she is wise enough to know that her journey is her own. She does not fear solitude. She embraces it. She does not seek permission. She grants it to herself. And in doing so, she becomes the kind of woman that the world cannot ignore. She knows herself, and that's dangerous. A woman who truly knows who she is cannot be controlled, persuaded, or deceived. She moves through life with a certainty that unsettles those who thrive on the uncertainty of others. She is not waiting for someone to tell her what she should be because she has already discovered it within herself. She does not seek validation because she understands her own worth without needing to be reminded. This kind of knowledge is power, and power is always seen as dangerous by those who wish to keep others small. A woman who knows herself is a woman who has taken the time to understand her own thoughts, her own desires, and her own strengths. She has stood in front of the mirror not just to admire her reflection, but to ask herself the hard questions. Who am I? What do I want? What do I believe? And unlike many, she has found the courage to answer those questions with honesty. This honesty gives her direction, and direction gives her purpose. And when a woman has purpose, she cannot be easily swayed. She does not live according to the expectations of others. She does not bend her values for the sake of acceptance. She does not conform just to fit in. The world often expects women to be agreeable, to be accommodating, to be small enough to remain unnoticed. But a woman who knows herself is none of those things. She takes up space. She speaks her mind. She demands to be heard. And for those who prefer silence, who prefer submission, she is a threat. When she walks into a room, she carries an energy that cannot be ignored. She does not need to announce her presence because her confidence does it for her. She has spent time alone learning what makes her strong, what makes her vulnerable, what makes her unstoppable. She has faced her fears and realized that most of them were illusions designed to keep her in place. Now she is free. And freedom for a woman who has been told to stay within limits is dangerous. She will not stay in relationships that diminish her because she has learned to enjoy her own company. She will not tolerate disrespect because she respects herself too much to allow it. And she will not wait for someone to save her because she has already saved herself. This kind of woman does not fear being alone because solitude has been her teacher. She does not chase after things that are not meant for her because she knows what she deserves. She moves with intention, speaks with wisdom, and lives with a certainty that others find unsettling. They call her dangerous because they cannot control her. They call her dangerous because she refuses to be tamed. They call her dangerous because she has found her voice and will never again let it be silenced. A woman who knows herself does not seek permission to exist fully. She simply does. And that is the most dangerous thing of all. She walks with purpose, not validation. Every step she takes is intentional, not driven by the need for approval, by the fire within her. She is not looking over her shoulder to see who is watching. Nor is she waiting for applause to confirm that she is on the right path. She moves forward because she knows where she is going and she does not need permission to get there. In a world that teaches women to seek acceptance, to mold themselves into what others find pleasing, she chooses to be different. She does not shape herself to fit the expectations of society, nor does she water herself down to make others comfortable. She has long since realized that living for the approval of others is a never-ending chase, one that leaves people exhausted and unfulfilled. So she stopped running. Instead, she stands firm in who she is, in what she believes, and in the direction she has chosen for her life. Her confidence does not come from compliments, and her worth is not measured by how many people approve of her choices. She does not dress, speak, or behave in a way that is designed to gain attention. She does not wait for others to tell her she is beautiful, capable, or strong. She knows these things already. She does not need a crowd to validate her existence, nor does she seek affirmation in the eyes of others. Her reflection is enough. Her voice is enough. Her presence is enough. She walks with an energy that is different, one that is undeniable. People may not always understand her, but they cannot ignore her. She carries herself with a quiet power, not because she is trying to prove something, but because she has nothing to prove. She is not competing. She is not comparing. She is simply being. That in itself is rare. That in itself is powerful. She does not fear walking alone because she has walked through her doubts and insecurities and come out stronger. She does not need to be surrounded by people to feel important. Nor does she adjust her path based on the opinions of those who do not understand her vision. She is not here to please everyone. And she is certainly not here to be placed into a box that was never meant for her. She is here to fulfill a purpose. And that purpose is far greater than the temporary satisfaction of validation. Some will misunderstand her. Some will label her as distant, arrogant, or too independent. But she does not let these perceptions dictate her path. She knows that those who walk with purpose will always be questioned by those who do not understand it. But that does not stop her. Nothing does, because she is not moved by external approval. She is moved by an inner calling, and that calling is far louder, far stronger, and far more important than the fleeting opinions of others. Her mind becomes her stronghold. It is the place where she finds refuge, where she builds herself up when the world tries to break her down. She has learned that circumstances change, people come and go, and the external world is often unpredictable. But the one thing she can always rely on is her own mind. And so she sharpens it, protects it, and strengthens it, knowing that it is her greatest weapon and her safest shelter. She does not allow negativity to take root in her thoughts. She understands that what she feeds her mind will shape her reality. So she chooses wisdom over ignorance, peace over chaos, and growth over stagnation. She filters out the voices that try to tell her she is not enough. And instead, she fills herself with knowledge, self-awareness, and unshakable belief. She is careful about what she allows into her mental space because she knows that a fortress is only as strong as the foundation it stands on. In solitude, she hones her thinking. While others may fear silence, she embraces it, using the quiet to reflect, to understand herself, and to strategize for the future. She does not waste her time drowning in distractions or seeking temporary escapes. Instead, she focuses on building a mind that is disciplined, resilient, and clear. She trains herself to think critically, to analyze situations beyond the surface, and to see beyond what is immediately presented to her. She is not easily fooled because she has trained her mind to recognize truth from deception. When challenges arise, she does not crumble. While others may panic, she remains calm because she has prepared herself mentally for adversity. She does not allow fear to dictate her actions, nor does she allow doubt to control her decisions. She knows that every obstacle is a test, and she trusts her ability to navigate through it. She does not rely on luck or external circumstances to shape her life. She relies on the strength of her mind to guide her through any storm. She is not easily influenced by the opinions of others because she has built a mind that is rooted in self-trust. She does not feel the need to conform to trends, to follow the crowd, or to seek approval. She has her own thoughts, her own convictions, and her own direction. She understands that not everyone will agree with her, and that does not bother her. She does not live to be liked. She lives to be true to herself. Through discipline, she has created a mind that works for her, not against her. She does not allow self-doubt to consume her, nor does she entertain thoughts that weaken her spirit. She has learned to master her emotions, to control her reactions, and to remain steady in the face of uncertainty. Her mind is not a place of fear, but of power. It is not a prison, but a kingdom. And in that kingdom she reigns. She is unafraid of silence, which makes her fearless in the storm. While others seek constant noise to fill the spaces in their minds, she embraces the quiet, knowing that it is in silence where true strength is built. She does not run from solitude, nor does she drown herself in distractions to avoid being alone with her thoughts. Instead, she sits with them, listens to them, and understands them. She has made peace with the stillness, and because of that, she is unshaken when chaos comes. The world teaches people to fear silence, to believe that it is a sign of emptiness, loneliness, or weakness, but she knows better. She has learned that silence is where clarity is found. It is where she hears her own voice without the influence of the outside world. It is where she sharpens her instincts, learns the depth of her own mind, and finds the answers that others spend their lives searching for in noise. While some panic in the quiet, needing constant validation and distractions to feel secure, she thrives in it. She understands that silence is not an enemy, it is a teacher. And because she has mastered silence, she does not fear the storms that life brings. She does not crumble under pressure. Nor does she lose herself in the face of uncertainty. She has already faced the storm within her own mind, wrestled with her fears in the quiet, and come out stronger. She has learned to sit with discomfort, to embrace the unknown, and to trust that even in the darkness she is capable of finding her way. When the world shakes, she remains steady, not because she is unafraid, but because she has already confronted her fears in the silence and refused to let them control her. She does not react out of impulse because she has trained herself to think before she speaks, to breathe before she moves, and to observe before she acts. She does not let emotions dictate her choices, nor does she allow external noise to cloud her judgment. She has developed a stillness within her that no storm can disturb. She understands that chaos is temporary, but a strong mind is permanent. And that is why when the winds howl and the world seems to fall apart, she does not break. She stands. She is the woman who remains calm when others panic, who finds solutions when others only see problems, and who walks forward when others are too afraid to move. She does not need external reassurances because she has already built her confidence in the silence. She does not rely on the world to give her direction because she has already found it within herself. She is unafraid of the quiet moments because they have made her who she is. And when the storm comes, as it always does, she does not run. She faces it with the kind of strength that only silence can teach. She is the architect of her own destiny. She does not wait for someone to hand her a blueprint or show her the way. She understands that her life is her own creation. and she takes full responsibility for shaping it into something meaningful. While others rely on fate or the expectations of society to dictate their paths, she picks up the tools of determination, vision, building a life that reflects her deepest desires and highest potential. She does not believe in limitations set by others. If a door does not open for her, she does not stand outside knocking. She builds her own. She does not wait for opportunities to come her way. She creates them. She does not fear starting from nothing, because she knows that true power comes not from what is given, but from what is built with one's own hands. She sees challenges not as barriers, but as chances to prove her strength. Every setback is a lesson, every failure a foundation stone, and every moment of struggle a testament to her ability to rise. Her vision is clear, because she does not let the noise of the world cloud her mind. She does not compare her journey to anyone else's. No. Nor does she allow external pressures to push her in directions that do not align with her purpose. She has learned that the only way to create a life of fulfillment is to design it herself with intention and boldness. She trusts herself enough to take risks, to walk paths that others are too afraid to explore, and to step into the unknown with confidence. She is not defined by what others think she should be. She is not confined by expectations, nor does she seek approval for the way she chooses to live. She knows that her destiny is hers to mold, and she refuses to let fear or doubt keep her from building the life she envisions. Every decision she makes is deliberate, every action purposeful. She does not drift through life hoping for change. She is the force that creates it. She understands that there will be obstacles, but she does not allow them to deter her. If the path ahead is difficult, she strengthens herself. If the world tells her something is impossible, she proves otherwise. She is relentless in her pursuit of the life she knows she deserves, unwilling to settle for anything less than what aligns with her purpose. She does not wait for permission to go after what she wants. She gives herself the authority to claim it. Her destiny is not written by chance or dictated by others. It is built step by step by her own hands. She is not merely a participant in her own life. She is the designer, the creator, the architect. And because she has taken ownership of her journey, there is no force strong enough to stand in her way. In the end, she is not a product of circumstance, but of choice. She does not wait for life to shape her. She shapes it herself. She walks with purpose, not for validation, unafraid of silence, fearless in the storm. Her mind is her stronghold, her solitude her strength, and her wisdom her power. She does not seek permission to exist fully, nor does she wait for the world to recognize her worth. She already knows it. They may call her dangerous, but what they truly fear is her independence. She is the architect of her own destiny, the writer of her own story, and the master of her own fate. She does not follow paths laid out by others. She builds her own. And in doing so, she proves that a woman who knows herself, who stands in her own power and who refuses to be controlled, is the most unstoppable force not out of defiance, but out of truth. The truth that her soul was never meant to walk in someone else's footsteps. She was born to leave her own mark, raw, bold, and entirely her own. While the world handed her maps etched with expectations, she chose instead to trust her inner compass. With every step, she carved out a road where none existed, forging a path not just for herself, but for those who would come after her. She doesn't seek permission. She doesn't wait to be chosen. She knows that her power lies not in what others give her, but in what she claims for herself. Her strength isn't loud or boastful, it's steady, grounded, and relentless. It's in the way she rises after being knocked down. It's in the way she speaks her truth, even when her voice shakes. It's in the way she protects her peace, demands respect, and walks away from anything that dims her light. And in doing so, she becomes more than just a woman on a mission. She becomes a mirror for others to see what's possible. She shows the world that self-awareness is not a weakness, but a superpower. That when a woman knows who she is, when she understands her worth, trusts her intuition, and honors her boundaries, she becomes unshakable. She cannot be molded into someone else's idea of who she should be. She doesn't shrink to make others comfortable, nor does she apologize for her ambition, her voice, or her presence. She redefines what it means to be powerful, not by dominating others, but by owning herself, fully, fiercely, unapologetically. The world often tries to contain women like her. It tells them to be smaller, softer, more agreeable. But she knows better. She knows that control dressed as protection is still control. So she refuses to be tamed. She breaks rules that were never meant to serve her. She lets go of roles that don't fit. She rewrites stories that never spoke to who she truly is. And in doing so, she proves something radical, that a woman who knows herself, who stands in her own power, and who refuses to be controlled, is the most unstoppable force of all. She is not perfect, but she is real, and that authenticity gives her a freedom most only dream of. Her power doesn't come from dominance, it comes from alignment, from walking in her truth even when it's inconvenient, especially when it's inconvenient.